What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. Got some crawler action for you guys to check out. As you can see from his opening hand, this is not a standard build of crawlers. He's running some Inzektor monsters in here, which in theory it does make sense. Obviously, Inzektors are insect types, so they do naturally benefit from something like insect imitation, which crawlers can run with Inzektors, because your crawlers are level 2 and your Inzektors are level 3, so you can use the crawlers, especially if they've been flipped up and you've gotten your use out of them. Maybe you've gone even in card advantage. You can summon something like Dragonfly straight out of your deck, and I guess it does make up, like, it can help with one of the deficiencies of crawlers, that's having some immediate removal, because crawlers do have flip monsters that take care of back row and that take care of monsters, but obviously they're flip monsters, so they're not exactly like, you know, the fastest thing out there. Flip decks are generally known as slower decks in Yu-Gi-Oh, and I think maybe if you have the defense of the field spell where your opponent runs over your monsters in battle, your flip monsters that is, then you end up taking one of their monsters down with you. That can be okay, but I still think crawlers need better defensive cards if they're not going to be a very fast deck. So he goes Alistair. For some reason, he didn't search Invocation. I have no idea what the hell that was about, but he does go ahead and add Alistair back to his hand. Most people play 2 to 3 copies of Invocation, and if you notice right there, when the water invoked monster ran into the crawler, not only did it activate, but clearly he lost it because of the field spell. So that's really what the field spell is best at, and it kind of sucks that you, unless you have 2 different crawlers, like crawlers with different names, you can't really go into your link monsters turn 1, because if you just have like two crawlers with the same name, it's not gonna work, because you want, when that monster dies, for it to float and for it to get those monsters back, and you just wouldn't want to play that risky game. So I think Merkaba is going to run it over, and then he's going to activate the effect to make sure that Qualiarch cannot activate. Qualiarch would have put him in a serious bind there, because crawlers, if they can grind down their opponent, especially something like Invoked, they can actually overwhelm them. But it just takes a couple of turns. Like, this is like an ideal matchup, to be honest. What crawlers don't want to do is they don't want to duel against something like Spiral that can vomit all over the build, or excuse me, all over the field. But if you're playing against something like Invoke, something that wants to play slow and methodical, this is a matchup they actually can win. And you never really want to blow up crawler monsters when they're face up, because they will activate. As he finds out right here, he uses Merkaba, and even though he ends up negating the crawler flip monster, it is face up when it is destroyed, which means it's going to activate and it's going to get him 2 monsters. So that's what you don't want to do. So Merkaba is kind of getting wrecked here, and I believe he should be able to get rid of this Merkaba, especially because he has no monsters in his hand, so he can't negate it. He's actually going to go for the Subterror Behemoth Aberration. Let me just pause for a second. What is this guy's name? Fiendus. Okay, my bad. Fiendus. And then he goes into Topological Bomber Dragon, which you hardly ever see. You don't see this deck really go for Link 4s that often, but Topological would not be the one that I would think about. I probably would have went for Borolo Dragon, but that's just me personally. I would have taken that damn monster. He's going to go ahead, summon the Earth Invoke monster, because obviously Topological Bomber Dragon points up, and then he summons his Merkaba. The problem is, Merkaba is way too small to actually be dealing with this guy. Now, he does end up popping the copy of Artifact Sanctum, and he loses his Topological Bomber Dragon because of that, but now he's actually getting the Inzektor engine going, and you can see that that Centipede is, what, 3,200 attack? So he's not even using Hornet or anything like that, which I don't believe he even has access to. Now, that was such a dumb play. You guys see right there, he actually uses Artifact Ignition to pop the copy of Excalibur, and that's stupid, because all it's going to do is trigger Excalibur, and it's going to trigger the Centipede. And actually, maybe he did have Hornet in his graveyard, because he's adding it back to the hand, and then he gets a Dragonfly. So unless he kills him right here, dude, Dragonfly is going to go nuts on his field. Now, he does get a counter for Dragonfly. He gets a Raijin, and that card is extremely good against Inzektors, because one of the ways you beat him is by putting him face down. But he top decks the Regeki. The Yu-Gi-Oh gods are feeling quite generous today, and he tried to put the Alistair face down. What is that gonna do? And ultimately, I think the reason I don't think he popped this back row before attacking is, I think he realized this guy's playing artifacts. I don't want to risk blowing up another Sanctum or blowing up another artifact and potentially getting wrecked. At first I was like, wait, why didn't he blow up the face down before attacking? But he's like, nah, there's artifacts back there, I'm not even going to risk it. Then the second duel is kind of it's basically a flip showdown. gonna, I guess I can call it flip madness, because Subterror's featuring Prediction Princess, which makes it even more super flip based, versus the Inzektors and the Crawlers. Well, no, the Crawlers featuring Inzektors. It's still a Crawler deck at heart. He's going to add a Crawler monster back to his hand. I think he's going to go straight into the Insect Imitation play. I could be mistaken about this. Oh, no, he gets Regeki, and anytime you get Regeki, you're looking pretty. He's added to clutch Regeki in both duels. He's going to go ahead and activate his Crawler. This is an extremely good card. It acts almost similar to, I don't want to say identical. You know what? It's like the Subterror Final Battle. It's a card that can flip your Crawler monsters face up and face down so that you can activate them immediately. I don't know all these cards by name. World Legacy's Puppets, and I think the other one is like Scars on the World Legacy or something like that. They're all difficult to remember, mainly because Jack Knights have World Legacy cards as well. He's able to get his Hornets in his hand and then get Dragonfly as well. And at this point, he doesn't really even need the Regeki anymore. He takes control of the duel. And the thing about Inzektors is, if you don't actually kill their monsters, then you might as well not set back row, because they're just going to blow all your crap up anyway. So stuff like Regeki can be pretty good. He goes Phoenix. He's trying to get one of his behemoths on the field. But if he can't flip it face up, then I'm not sure how he's going to survive Centipede and Hornet being on the field. Both. He's using Hidden City to get that Destiny Draw effect from Stalagmo, I believe his name is. But the problem is, he got rid of just Hornets. He got rid of just Dragonfly. But your boy right here, Centipede, is still sitting there waiting to do that work. Now they both have their field manipulating cards, or their, I should say, flip manipulating cards, because he has the copy of Final Battle set, and his opponent has the World Legacy Puppet set. But the thing is, he still has this clutch card. He has that Regeki. He's going to clear everything out. And I thought that he could have OTK'd him, because he does have the copy of Centipede or Gigamantis on the field equipped to Centipede. I thought maybe he should have popped this, and then he should have summoned his Dragonfly back from the graveyard, and then whatever he has left in his deck. And I think that could have been the pop-off that he needed to win. But he's just going to do a lot of damage here, which, I don't know. I feel like if you can just take your opponent out, why not do it? Especially if you're playing Crawler. You're not playing a deck that inherently does a lot of battle damage regardless, so he's not getting that much damage out of his Crawler monsters, and you never just want to leave the door open for your opponent to just kick it down and, you know, get back into the duel. It's very possible. That's all I'm saying. So I believe that Crawler's Spine was destroyed and then it activated while it was face up, and then it just summons 2 more monsters. He plays this really weird card called Manipulation of Ants. It's like Wormbait, but I don't think it's as good. It gets you like insect tokens, which you can use for link summoning, but I don't know. I think Wormbait's just a little better in my opinion. Even though his opponent does have 3 monsters on the board, he does not have the Hidden City anymore. So at this point, it's just like systematic takedown. He uses the Ladybug, which that's a pretty good card to tribute, but the duel's basically over. He's using 2 copies of his Excalibur. Every monster on the field is empowered right now because they're all insects, and they're all benefiting from the Crawler Link monsters. So he pretty much just overwhelms the second guy. I don't think that I like, even if you're going to play Prediction Princess in Subterrors, I don't think that I like it without running Pot of Taboos. I'm not sure if that guy had Pot of Taboos in his deck, but I feel like you just got to find some way of getting Pot of Taboos in that damn deck, because such a spicy combo if you can get that, and you can get Terra Tray on the field, and you can just constantly like either nuke your opponent's board or look at their hand and get rid of a card. So anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, give the video a big thumbs up. I will have the deck of the Krawler Inzektor in the description below. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on those notifications for daily videos.